to be sneaky. If it's a deep smoke into T warehouse, then you can see on either side. Dennis, the new man on the NIP roster. It seems there'll be a slow start from Envy. Oh, hello Haji. Speaking of new men, not easy to get the headshot from that position with the Glock and get a kill with it. So he's delivering something early. Remainder of NIP with Kevlar. Happy sneaking out of Squeaky now. There is a player by Fork though, which is Draken. But Happy's slowly clearing the site. That gun falling on the floor will be heard, but Draken, what can he really do with this information? Well, one tap will help. Now we see a slow rotation from Dennis towards the car position.
Oh dear. Sunroom will likely be checked, but pretty nice advantage for Rez. Gets the first kill. Does get traded out though, very nice. Scream has the spacing there to avenge his comrades. And now they can move into the B-bomb side. Although the CTs are certainly in an okay spot, able to get onto the site, but the headshots will fall in the favor of the Envyus side. And now Draken is alone. And I don't know if there's a kit somewhere, but he can absolutely pull this one off. It is a pistol round after all.
Yeah, there's no kit around here. I think Get Right died first on A, so if there was a kit, it's on the other side of the map. So it's going to be a very hard task. They're just waiting for him to make the point of no return. If he quickly goes into headshot, that would be a saving grace, but he jumps up instead. Maybe trying to avoid getting pre-fired, but the numbers are too great. And the first round will go the way of Envy.
Here's another round where we see a default where everybody spreads out, Glocks take fights, and they fortunately found the kill. I think Haji got the first one on A. And then after that, Happy lurking out, it seemed like maybe they overextended a bit at that point where he drops his gun and then gets one tap from Fork and they didn't clear everything out. But they made it work. They were very aware of Rez pushing into the sunroom. And once they eliminated that threat, we see the value, though, of Rez pushing into sunroom. And even though he dies, he's able to call for rotates immediately. So, you know, you have a player that gets into headshot and a player that gets into heaven quickly enough that they can be useful.
It seems to be a common theme now where Envy put Scream on a P250 in the pistol round, which is very smart. And I've seen it twice now, but both times he's delivered at least one kill. Envy trying to stave off the force buy at the moment. Two players in the highway position for NIP. These are still dangerous weapons they carry. Force getting 2 Deagle kills. Okay, the game on. That forklift play there will be very hard to deal with. Trying to hold an angle while Rez moves in. And you do wonder if Haji can do this now with the Galil. Not going to be easy. Really hard to fight that forklift position as well. Forrest with another Deagle kill. Been in the game so long, but in CSGO I still feel like he slept on.
Yeah, in all of NIP's turmoil, especially over the last year or so, Forrest was definitely, I think, most consistently the best performer individually. Like, he was just very good. Get Right was slumping really hard, but Forrest never seemed to waver too much. And you have to imagine that's like for a player like Forrest, who is very much an emotional player, very intuitive in the way that he plays the game. It's got to be hard to deliver performances when your team, the morale on the team is not good. You're not getting the results. Everything is going against you. Mentally, but still. So I think, you know, we could still see new peaks to Forest. I still believe in that.
It's pretty unbelievable to think that you can, considering how long they've played.
Yeah, it's so awesome. And so much of that is really untested as well. We don't really have much in the way of data when it comes to players playing professionally in a game like Counter-Strike for such an extended period of time as Forest has been. You know, we see it with some of the Virtus Pro players as well, but I think arguably the NIP players could outlast.
Players like Forrest are holding the torch for all the young players and all of the future generations of players to see how long you can be good and motivated and happy and achieving things in Counter-Strike.
Definitely. Right now, very nice rifling from Rez as he removes some of the pistoling players of Envyus, who were only really interested in this round in getting some damage, getting some picks, and then trying to make a call off of that. And there is one. I don't know that the bomb can make his way there. It's in control of the CTs now, even though Kyo's doing great work. But they have to go back.
Haji charging through the main area, and Draken will pop him with ease. But Kiyashima is doing colossal damage. He still has time to retrieve this bomb, but surely this fight ends here, one way or another. Kishima 4 kills now, but that is such a long Molotov. Rez, what did he choose to do? 18 seconds remain, tries to drop the flashbang, playing the off angle, and he will stop Kishima from quite an absurd ace in round number 3. But boy, has he kept the economy honest. That's a huge frag from him. That's not an easy one to land that first shot with the deagle.
Big deeks. So we've got the P90 out on Get Right, and he knows he's going to be against armorless opponents, so it should be fun. And it's also interesting from the perspective that a player like Forrest, he played for so many years when you couldn't really make money from playing this you know, well, professionally in general. Really, could make something, but you couldn't make life-changing money like we're seeing these days. So that's definitely going to be a motivating point, I think. Given reference to all the lands that they played for $5,000 or whatever.
You know, it's weird, right? Because I think it'd be cool to, you know, like adopt a donkey or something if you're a professional player, right?
Okay.
But the thing is, in America, you can adopt a highway. So I know I was in a taxi on my way somewhere, and I saw that you could just adopt a highway. So I could just have like James Bardolph in massive letters on the highway.
No, that's
In an esports arena or something. But I think if I did that, someone would probably crash their car just out of confusion.
But what adopt the highway?
See, basically, you can pay for the highway maintenance so that the roads are nice for everyone.
How much does that cost? That's.
I'm sure you could.
I
I'm
don't
sure
know,
they
but
won't say no to
I
any
want my
number.
name on the highway.
I don't think that's. Maybe if you catch them while they're pouring the fresh concrete, you can go and draw your name in with a stick or something like that.
No. There's a website. They have these signs. It just has you can just have your name on it.
Oh.
Next to the highway. Yeah. Look. Just Google adopt a highway. Of course, after the ECS show is finished. But
Yeah.
anyway, enough about donkeys and highways. It's the buy round, and NIP looking to keep hold of the mid position. It's a 1-2-2 set up from them. Dennis trying to avoid the pop flashes through, but Haji will catch him. More than one flash. In the meantime, Rez has been booted up on the boxes, and it seems like a very fast B split from Envy.
Yeah, I mean, they have all the positioning. There's loads of time left in the round, though, so they don't have to commit. But the response from the CTs is very fast. Draken's in a very good timing, and that's going to stretch or strain and constrain Envyus. As Get Right now closes in from the back as well. So ultimately, things have gone very awry for Envyus's attack. And that's surprising. And here goes Get Right from the back to finish. Oh, I thought he'd finish things off. At least he's left him low. His teammates should be able to clean it up. The bomb is in the open as well, so chances here are very low, very slim. And now it's all over. But they were in checkers at like 130. Draken pushed Vent at like 125. That's such a fast response.
Yeah, really nice. And you see Draken, he immediately jumps up as well. Because you'll often find a lurker trying to cut off the rotators in T-Warehouse. So you'll often find players jumping on the roof to take an off angle so they don't get pre-fired, and they'll see the legs first of their opponent. But yeah, when there's a fast play, you don't really see those fast plays in pro matches anymore. Like Haji pop flashing through the smoke. But often if somebody's playing close on the CT side, they will essentially run facing the right wall to try and avoid as many flashes as possible. But again, something we've also noticed is flashes behind flashes. So you hear one, a peek, get hit by the other one, as Dennis did. Rez very aggressive through B. Nobody in T-Warehouse whatsoever. And look at the stack now. And this is a position where he doesn't necessarily need to flank, and there's probably going to be somebody boosted, and they might even look behind them. But the person in the rear can simply contain to cut off a rotation. Ooh, there's 2, 3, 4 for Rez. And 1 for Dennis.
Great rifling from him.
Nice.
You know, you were mentioning adopting a highway. When we went to Aruba, I mentioned that to my mum. She said that in the 80s, you could do the same thing, but you could adopt land in Aruba. And so they paid for some land which had my name on it. But they lost the paperwork.
So when you say adopt land, do you mean buy land?
Well, no, not buy land, but like you could like sponsor some land or something and then have your name on it. Something like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Renting land.
And it's funny thing is my mum only remembered because I was like, oh, yeah, we're going to go to Aruba. And she's like, oh yeah, I've got some... yeah, names there somewhere. That's sticking out of a field. Oh, okay. Great. Do you know where or anything? Any details? No. What's the paperwork?
Before the internet age,
Indeed.
Daniel Capadia was written somewhere in Aruba.
Slow default from Envyus.
Envy no, especially with the smoke back here. And it looks this is the bent molly that they're lining up. There's not going to be anybody to trap this time. This Rez is sitting pretty aggressively on the box. They're actually not even peeking it. They just threw a molly into Sunroom. Oh, Rez gets his angle closed off on.
In the meantime, Draken's been picked up towards the A site and nobody else is there, but they'll be careful. Molly behind forklift, really important. That's a great spray by Dennis. He's maimed some of these players. They won't bleed to death though. They'll need to be finished off. No bomb plant just yet, and that's buying time for the CTs. RPK picked off, I think, as he was about to plant. There's a pop flash play through the smoke. 2 players for the CT side. Get right's good for both kills. And that leaves Scream alone. Position unknown. Get right moving around the smoke, just about not showing his person. 15 seconds for Scream to plant the bomb. And he's looking for the kills. He knows they're close. He's going for elimination. There's Get Right. Massive burst from Scream. Has no idea where Forrest is. 7 seconds. Forrest peaks. Perfect timing for him. Another round for NIP.
So I'm not sure if I think I may have missed something there, but NIP believed it was B for some reason, but all they had really seen was one player in B storage taking down Res. Yet they did a big rotation away from the A site as Draken started to push main, I believe. So it seemed like a mystery. I'm not sure if you guys caught something there that I didn't.
Well, Res was blind when he went down, so I guess he was limited in what information he could tell them.
Yeah, but Rez is not going to say there's, it's going to be B if he doesn't know. But he will tell them that he was blind and, potentially.
Yeah, so he doesn't know what's there as well.
But they're not going to hard rotate off that information. So I think the thing is, though, this is what we were talking about with Cash before, is that it's really easy to get people to play retake on A, even if that's not their initial setup. So all you really need to do is sell a light fake, and somebody will rotate to truck or even farther out.
Buy round for both teams. 6-1 at the moment. Haji lining up a quad smoke, but that hasn't gone well for him. Sprayed through the door, falling to the flames. 2 of the 4 players towards A for Envy, and Get Right is going on an investigation route. And I love this because we saw when Threat was on the team a more aggressive NIP, but sometimes it was a too aggressive NIP. Sometimes you've got to be aggressive, sometimes you got to keep them guessing. The bomb starts to move towards the B bomb site, but all the things are quiet now. If Happy can get a pick, he can pull players away. So there goes Draken, and that might send people back towards the A site. Let's see. It's going to send a tease back, in fact. Oh, but Get Right.
Oh no! Oh no! Ooh. You hate to see that.
You don't often see that either.
Yeah, you do. That is. Garrett's one of those players where it's like that's like a 1 in 100 type thing.
Bet that won't be on Reddit.
2,000 upvotes.
7 hours of casting. 7 hours of streaming, sorry. 30-second highlight. 2,500 upvotes.
I guess Get Right is the... Was it 2 years running? You got #1 player in the world? Was it 2 years running? I think it was something like that on HLTV. Guess he gets the benefit of the Dark James. Yeah, I mean, that's insane because usually the worst case there is he only gets 1 because the second guy then spins around and reacts very quickly and gets a very fast headshot. But he got none there. And I think if he just gets 1 kill, we're looking at a very different round. So very, I mean, that's what CS comes down to sometimes.
It's hard to say this round didn't come down to that. I mean, he had such an advantageous position, and also it seemed like he was waiting for the second guy to run by as well. If he did, then I mean maybe he still misses, but I'm surprised that he waited, but then still shot only when he saw 1 guy running the aim in.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was wondering if he would wait longer. Either way, they still have guns. They've got guns and money and guns. As we get close to middle, and NIP have been playing even towards the 1 minute mark. They've been keeping 3 people around middle and leaving the sites with just 1 player in a few rounds. So either they expect delayed mid takes from Envyus, which was a very reasonable thing to expect, Or they're just mixing things up now, because we see 3 players sort of committed heavily towards A here for NIP so far, and it's off of very little information.
What's interesting about this round is that they had just evacuated mid, so their initial setup out of spawn was, hey, let's play 1-2-2. And Dennis, after getting all that nade damage, decided to fall back, so they've just adapted and given up mid control, which puts everyone else off because they don't want to play with so much of a lack of information. But it seems like the gamble stack now is just play 3 inside A.
Yeah, they've got a nice setup towards B with Forest holding the pop flashes and a player behind the box, but how will this work out? Not the best Molotov towards the MBK position. Get right, not Molotov off the forklift position either. So now Dennis can run distraction. Get right picked off in the meantime, but Dennis continues to kill. Slow crab walk, and the spray will be there. But will they expect Draken? Probably think the site is clear. 30 seconds, and there's one player down. There's a bomb planter down, and now Scream's got massive problems on the highway position. One player creeping behind him. That smoke will soon disappear, and surely he goes down for free. See Forest right next to him now. Scream's being spotted, or has he? Draken will finish him off as well. Big round for Draken, and the 2 men dying on A. Envy did not expect the 3rd person, didn't check the site, and it cost them.
That was the target selection thing that you were talking about with Skylar the other day. He had to decide whether or not he wanted to take a pick on the guy going to A main when he heard the bomb going down. When he could have just killed the planter and let that guy go away, just in case of the fact that maybe the guy planting the bomb is able to get off and shoot before he peeks him. But he timed it really well here, or he realized that he could definitely kill him.
It's a really big deal as well when you have multiple players on your screen too. It's so difficult to know which one, and there's always a best target to shoot, and it's really interesting. In Quake, that's like a really big deal as well. But this is Counter-Strike, and aggressive Draken. He's been spotted though, and it's still a hittable shot if his opponent is to make his way across, but a very hard shot now that he's aware. Where's going to the pop flash play through the smoke? Aggressive stuff, just taking a very slight peek there. Looking for information. I like how active NIP are in B storage. I think it's pretty awesome. It shows an advanced level of understanding of how to play versus a T default, because especially due to the fact that it can be very powerful if you work out that it's just one player harassing B storage, and then you can understand that's part of their default, and then even if you know what player it is, that can tell you even more as to what's going on.
Nice pop flash for the mid players to see what is going on. If anybody has an aggressive position in mid. But I still won't know if anybody's in mid. Could be somebody under the boost, could be somebody by the vent. And they'll keep 2 players there for the time being. So they've changed their approach on the A site. Changing their formation. Oh, Dennis caught on a journey. Ooh, a boost over the smoke. And Draken goes down for free as well. So Envy's got some tricks in the bag. And that might be around for them. 5 versus 3 as they take the A site. 2 players in B are ready for NIP, and they'll be joined by the 3rd in Get Right.
In terms of changing tempo, it's really powerful to do late mid sometimes, because you know that teams are going to be constantly throwing nades at boost. You take no residual damage, and then when you go up, you know that there's only going to be one guy in vent or one guy close up. The reason why people want to rush it sometimes is to stop people from getting up close to the smoke, or getting under boost, or doing something really tricky, or getting on top of boost even. So I like that Envy decided to just do like a late dry mid, and it caught Dennis off guard, which is going to mess him up for future rounds when he tries to lurk up mid, if they do try to do that.
Envyus making this a competitive game. Now starting to get some rounds on the boards, though NIP with the 3-man save. Pretty crucial to understand the difference between saving like 3 guns versus 2 guns versus 1 gun. Like, it's obviously has a complete different effect. If you save 2 guns, then that's 1 guy that can't be dropped for. If you save 3, then you sort of have a surplus then. So it makes a pretty significant difference. Having 3 is obviously optimal. Very close miss there. But we can see that NIP have a very solid buy despite their money being ruined. This is something that they used to be very strong at initially when Threat first took over. They suddenly just were able to get more buys than every other team because of how they were saving and so on. But that also comes at a cost, because it means you're taking less risks, less opportunities for you to do damage to their economy, and so on and so forth. Oh, Happy was very ready for that push. Draken with a very late creep past the smoke.
Very cheeky indeed. And that risk has not paid off for NIP. They don't have anybody in the B bomb side. They've had to abandon A. Envy are not committing to anything. They are waiting to see the reaction of the CTs. And now Dennis will, with some confidence, move back in towards the B bomb site. Rez maybe expecting a pop flash play, or is he going somewhere on his own? Into the corner. Always good to spray this from the T side through the smoke to stop people. As you can see, Happy's going to check it, and he will have an advantage there on that peak, I think. Yeah, there we go. Nice stuff from him, but doesn't see the low ground. Vision obscured by the scope, and Dennis will hold down the B bomb site. Still plays on A for NIP. Forrest trades his teammate, who gets caught in the shroud position. That leaves Scream dancing around Molotov with 20 HP. Blinds, going for the plant. He must land the plant at the very least.
Another 1vx for Scream in a less than ideal position with such limited health, and his opponent's wielding AK-47s. One shot to the torso could be it for Mr. Scream. Plays around the smoke, but not quite ready for that push. And that's surprising. That's a pretty easy to expect push. It seemed like Scream was kind of expecting someone to come higher. Unfortunate.
Well, I mean, he's 1 versus 2. They could come up the ladder on Cat. They could come around the other side of the bomb train as well. So, not the easiest position to be in.
I'm just surprised they didn't play the 1v2 together.
No, exactly. So you got one guy pushing a smoke. It's such an easy 1v1 for Scream.
But that was a good adjustment after losing Draken to B main. Having the 2 players go up, and one thing I think like a lot of lower level teams don't do is they don't play around their smokes, so they'll smoke something off, play standard on site. Oh, that's a very testy adjustment.
Tough spot for Dennis. There's more than one person, and he may fear somebody moving up the roof position as well as the low ground. And all of a sudden, it's down to Get Right 1 versus 2. I think he's heard one player in the just moving into the checker's position. But in 1 versus 2, how likely are they to be checking this? They don't know he's coming from this position, but surely he's been heard now. Scream at the front of the site. Oh, he's seen him now. We've got a fight on our hands. Scream willing to duel, but Get Right's bursting is too much. 9-3 for NIP.
The crazy thing there is that if Get Right's 2 teammates had survived for like maybe 2 seconds more, it's a super easy round for Get Right, as opposed to a very, very sketchy 1v2. But it's very surprising to see. Oh, Get Right. Like he knows, he saw him shaking his mouth, that he knows that he probably shouldn't have won that.
He played it well though.
He did.
Yeah. Scream kind of ran to bomb with the pit. Ran to pit with the bomb when he probably should have been the one to cross site with his teammate to just go up and sit there. I think they heard Get Right drop out of vents too, but they just didn't really react properly.
Yeah, I think he was already in the corner, and it's an awkward position to escape from. Oh well, awkward stuff for Envyus. Puts them back onto pistols. No grenades at this point. Gauntlet run. Interesting angle from Get Right. Obviously, his teammate spotting for him, but they are very close indeed. So by the time he sees him, that Molotov will surely be too late. Or no, one person having a look, but nobody else committing. Get Right holding on to his molly for now. Is anybody else here? Yes, there's one more person. Bomb not spotted yet though, but they're just gonna peek one by one in a pistol with. I don't know, man.
I like the setup from NIP at least, because obviously Get Right understands that. Like, they intrinsically understand. Okay, Forrest takes the first contact. The next, after he gets the kill, the next player is looking towards Forrest. Forrest is not peeking. Then Get Right knows that he has an angle that he can take, and because of where they have to peek to get Forrest, it's like a very easy, safe off angle for him. So I guess that's a good takeaway there, if nothing else. Obviously, the one by one P250 peaks weren't all too fantastic.
Highway control is everything. Like you can use it to defend mid really easily. You can use it to nade any spot on A. Highway's wide open, and you can use it to hold door. So even on a retake setup with highway control, you can stop players crossing, do tons of damage in pre-nades, and have a lot of information for your teammates to rotate as well. And that was a really nice anti-eco setup. The only weakness, obviously, was the one player B.
Do you feel like Envyus are getting frustrated?
3 rounds. I think they will feel like Catch is, or can be, a good map for them. So 3 rounds, I think, is not what they expected. I mean, when aren't Envy frustrated at the moment is another question, Dan.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they're able to do stuff now. They've got the AKs. They have some grenades. Now, NIP are trying to condition them. Here we go. This is one solution as well. It's just sometimes you've got to hide in the smoke in mid. But it's not often that happens, and you can get away with it on occasion, but not when RPK is the man in mid. Hard to get away with anything versus RPK. So what can they do with this now? They've picked off a play, they've got the man advantage, they've got loads of time on the clock. They've got lurkers towards A, and here comes the move up highway.
Straight in your face. Nicely done by NIP. Envy's trying to crowbar their way into the bomb site, not really working out here. Wow, Forest emerging again. Happy was somewhat ready for that, but still loses the battle. At least Kirishima can get the trade. And it's a 2v3 here with plenty of time. This is the only issue really is that NIP have been very active, and it's very hard to know who's pushing where. That's fantastic though. Scream in a very important timing, creating what could be an open bomb site for them, as we can see also at the same time there's pushing from Rez in the back. So Envyus do not have too much time to mess around, because Rez will eventually catch up with them.
30 seconds on the clock. Trying to slowly, quietly figure out where these CTs are. And now it's time to plant. But Rez's position unknown. Default plant from Kirishima. Where is Rez coming from? Is he coming from mid? Is he coming from car? Is he coming from main? It will be the last of the 3. 11-3 for NIP.
That was a really cool round from NIP, because when they lost their opening kill, this was 4v5, RPK gets up highway, and they never leave him alone. They molly top highway, they kept flashing it over and over again. They knew that you can kind of puppet master Envy there by killing RPK or making him uncomfortable, because they're only going to go up when he takes contact up highway. So if they kill him, they completely nullify the push, and if they annoy him, they're not going to go out A main just yet. So they did a really good job understanding like what was the most important guy to worry about versus that split.
Yeah, Forrest did really well with his mid shenanigans, that's for sure. Happy standing on the shoulder of his mates. On the shoulders of giants.
Wayne Gretzky.
No, actually it's an Isaac Newton quote, but whatever.
Bloody hell.
That's good.
Kill me.
Wayne Gretzky misses 100% of shots he doesn't take. Michael Scott.
Okay, we've got the 4v5 again from NIP's perspective. Envyus have a lot of time. Again, they're finding some of these openings pretty early into the rounds. Very ideal for a T side. Question is, what is the reaction from NIP? So far, they're just holding positions towards B at the moment.
This is always a scary position if you're RPK. You want to harass the site, but you don't know if anybody is behind the box. And when you're a lurker, you're on your own. You don't really want to. Oh my god, that shot from Rez. That was nasty. There's a pop flash from Forrest. He's buying some time for his team. The Molotov on the site stops him from rotating, and now he's dead as well. 2 versus 4. Perhaps we'll finally see a 4th round for Team Envy. We've got players on the site. No need for more to cross. The bomb will be planted for the vent position. And now they played a post plant.
Incendiary in. Jack trying to bait out some players here to cross his reticle. Not an easy task, and in the end, it'll be 11-4 for the NIP side, conceding a round at the end of the second quadrant. I guess this will still be a thing.
Holy moly.
It was a great half for NIP. I mean, that round was really well played by Envyus. They got the 5v4 advantage. They immediately said in their heads, I imagine, all right, we've done what we need to do. We don't necessarily need to get map control. We can just go for a site. If we do it in a good way, we'll be fine. And they just went for just a quick little B split.
Forrest 20 for 6. Nice.
Very nice, very nice.
One player has disconnected, so there'll be a slight delay before we get back into things. PC restarts. So, as you can see, Peter, for those of you who didn't remember, is part of the NIP team, taking the place of Threat. And he's declared that NIP will win the next major. And then Yanko said, please qualify for the major first. Let that be the focus. We do like to see them return to the major. Not the same without them Swedish.
Yeah.
Forrest's Swedish beard.
It's really weird without NIP at majors. Very weird indeed.
There was this period of time where there were no Swedes in the top 10 besides FaZe's coach.
Vape Lord Robban,
Yeah.
as Guardian's AWP says.
And Olaf Meister.
Well,
Olaf Meister.
We'll see if that continues. When
Well,
did you last restart your PC, Dan?
well, my PC's in London.
You like to leave your PC on?
It depends. Sometimes
You're a PC leaver honor.
I used to, but not anymore. Actually, I usually shut it off now.
Yeah. What about you, Launders? Do you leave your PCs on all the time?
Before matches, I always restart, but if I'm just playing games, sometimes I'll just leave it on for, I'll put it in rest for a few days. Because it actually takes more power out of your CPU to turn it off and turn it on. So it can be, on the long term, you should be using rest mode more often than just restarting your PC.
Like sleep mode?
Or sleep mode, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never used sleep mode on my PC. Petrol XXXX. Wait, is there 4 X's or 3? The screen's a bit far away.
4.
It's 3. No, it's 4. It is 4. All the X's. 4X. There's one 50,000 face-it points. I think I have about 6,000 face-it points.
I don't know how many. I used to have quite a bit. I think.
I'm going to win some this time. I've been playing loads of hubs and stuff. I want to get me some face-it points.
I can check.
I'm going to save up. I'm going to buy me.
The
I don't even
Fiat.
know. Huh?
A Fiat.
Maybe.
Faceit.com.
I'd prefer a boat. I wanted to buy a boat in London, but the thing is, with like insurance and mooring costs are like £5,000 a year.
You ever been on a Sea-Doo or a jet ski or anything like that?
Yeah, I almost like paralyzed myself on a jet ski in Cancun.
Oh my god.
Because it was there was this one day. It was really windy when we were there, and this one day it was pretty wavy, and they probably shouldn't have opened them up at all, and they closed it when I came back, and because I just took off from the beach and I went like 10 feet plus in the air. And I know to when you land, like you do it like a like a mountain bike, because I'm a big mountain bike guy. But I still just like all the bones in my spine just kind of squeezed together. It was really uncomfortable. It was really bad.
That sounds amazing.
I was very sad for a number of days afterwards. I was sad. I was like, this should not happen. I'm sad. So yeah, but apart from that, the jet skis were awesome. I tried to. I drove my jet ski into Yanko's jet ski.
That sounds very dangerous.
He had someone on the back as well. I did it deliberately. I tried to just go past, but I go close, but I ended up just driving straight into him. But no, the jet skis were cool. Have you been on a jet ski?
I've been on a Sea-Doo. I don't know if they're very different.
What does a Sea-Doo?
It's like a jet ski. It's like almost the same thing. I'm not exactly. Maybe it's just a brand. I'm not sure. But I've gone very fast on a Sea-Doo.
Probably just a brand. Jet skis, it's insane how powerful they are. I was not expecting that.
Feels great. I love going fast.
Yeah, but we were on the wrong side of Cancun. We were on the side that was exposed to the sea, whereas if we were on the other side of the islands, it would just be, then you could just go nuts and it would just be calm because it's protected by the island of the Cancun, whatever. Anyway, it is a second half pistol now, and NIP are on the T side. Everybody has Kevlar on every team. Lots of heads for Scream to shoot, but excuse me, he'll be the recipient of the headshots this time. Happy trying to do what he can, but it's a very difficult flank for Happy. If he commits through this vent, surely he goes down. Very unfavourable for CT, but maybe on a pistol round, he'll make it work. RPK on his 6 as well, and now they've got the man advantage. Dennis trying to hold a cross while his teammate plants the bomb.
So they've managed to make it work. The bomb down is always going to be nice. Rez and Dennis doing excellent amounts of damage onto the upcoming Envyus players, and they are all gone. They've been wiped off the face of the server just for that very round, and NIP have started things off very, very well. Envyus must surely be unamused. Highly unamused. The pistol chaos.
This is one of my favorite pistol strats.
Yep.
Just because, you can't. I think it's easy to get kills at B, and once you get into checker especially, it's really, really difficult and kind of random, I think, for the USBs to hit their shots. So I find it's very easy to swarm on that site. You also know they aren't going to play retake on it, so they don't have some like long con plan that's going to allow you to get the bomb down but then still win. Much harder site to retake.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
The Popo.
Popo who?
Dan, you better run.
It's not the Popo who, it's just the Popo. It's not like extra.
But for that's how...
It's not the Po. I mean, what do you want? What do you want from me, Dan? Bomb being planted on the A site. Happy's been picked off, leaving RPK and Kiyashima. That's all that remains, and now it is the RPK, the king. The king himself. Got his Titan logo. I don't even know what deagle that is. It's so dark and just... Is it bronze deco?
Oh, that might be it. I thought it was a koi for a second.
No, the koi's brighter.
A little brighter.
I have the koi, but the honey badger's the best one for me. The hypnotic. It's a honey badger.
I use the, what?
The hypnotic deagle
Yeah.
is styled like a honey badger with black and white stripes.
Black and white stripes,
So
yeah.
mine's called a honey badger.
Honey badgers have black and white stripes?
Yeah.
Oh. You
What
learn
did you think
something
they
new
had?
every day.
What did you think they were? Dare I ask?
Guess I just thought they looked like regular badgers.
Well, they also have black and white stripes. Have you seen? Do you know what a badger is? Yesterday we found out that Lorna didn't know what a circle was. And now we question if he knows what badgers are.
No, it was like, what was that fruit? It sounds like harambe. Or not fruit, candy.
A fruit that sounds like harambe.
What's the name of the thing that sounded like
What are you
harambe?
smoking?
What's happening?
Remember,
fruit.
Haribo.
Haribo.
Harambe sounds like harambe.
Well, yeah, that's.
Oh my God.
It does sound like harambe.
They
That's
start
just.
with H, just about it.
And A.
Oh my god. This is so good.
If you're at home, please draw a circle and send a picture of it to Launders. Then send him badger pictures in a separate tweet. Thank you. 14-4 for Ninjas in Pyjamas and Screams being taken down in the middle of mid. Aggression from RPK, and this has led to catastrophe for Envy. 3 versus 5 on the defense. Get right, getting greedy for a gun perhaps. Now he's stuck with 2 HP.
He's doing the thriller dance over there.
They smoked him off.
In the garage. Happy. It's just chilling. This is a really rough position because you want to take some initiative here, but it's very difficult when you're down to 3 players like this. You can see Kiyashima is that man. But it does look like NIP are moving with a good pace. They should be in on top of the A site before this flank should do damage if they continue to move and do not wait anymore. Kiyashima is almost there. But the side push has commenced and they have taken it and they can plant the bombs. So Kiyashima is slightly too slow. And now that Happy's gone, the power of his position is halved. Or even worse than that, as he can't do anything without distraction, so we'll back away. Really awful position. One of those spots where you can see them wanting to immediately take the advantage back by going for a quick push when it was down to a 5v4, then you're in a 5v3. It's really tough. CT side is way less forgiving than the T side when in that same situation.
It's kind of how the round should go when you get the first kill at mid and you get mid control, and then you sometimes still see teams come back from it, but that's how it should look. And it's kind of like how you would work the body in boxing. You know, you soften them up that way, and then you go for the head. You don't just try to knock someone out right away. And that's the same thing with mid control. You won't necessarily win the fight here or win the rounds, but it's totally pivotal to controlling what the CTs can do.
Yeah, I guess like with boxing, you start to tire your opponent, and then they realize they have a clock, and they have to go for it, take more risks. And that's when you have them right where you want them.
Oh, Draken.
Got the hit too.
Yeah, but he gets put out of his misery by RPK rather than fall to the flames. I think both, well, one of them was almost guaranteed. All but's guaranteed. Haji boosting over the smoke. Rez will finally finish off screen. But when you expect the player in main, if he goes for a push here, he could be in for a nasty surprise. That said, with Haji high, he has to jump off, but he'll manage to finish off the job. clearing the squeaky area at the same time, taking the AK, and he might go for a push later on. Or perhaps not. Politely closing the door. One shot just in case. And in the meantime, the rest of NIP have been waiting. One player still lurking outside B. Oh my god, Forest is awake today. This KD is getting quite ridiculous. 24 for 7. 3 on 3, 45 seconds for NIP.
That means he's fragging all times a day.
I like the boxing analogy quite a lot. I haven't heard that before. Nice.
Thought of it just now.
Nice. I'm a fan of analogies. Well, NIP looking to crush the A site, and Haji there. Does have an AK though, but he will die. Get right on point as well, and now move into the bomb sites. And the CTs are very far away, so this becomes very difficult. Obviously, the NIP don't know quite exactly how far away they are, but they've taken some pretty solid post-mark positions, and they have all the information in the world now. Despite losing Get right there, it's still so difficult for Envyus to get in here. There's a Molotov and Dennis as well. So that can be quite useful in this situation. Ooh, Kishima trying to get some good pre-fire through the smoke. There's Molotov a bit too far forward, but it doesn't matter. That'll be 16-4. NIP with a very decisive result. Great performances from pretty much everybody on the team.